Darlings, Kardashians, and magicians, welcome to Discovering the M.O. Sessions. This is Evelyn Moore talking, here to welcome you to a Dead Slide Society production, hosted by that charming Benny Slade. I hope you enjoy this session. I know I always do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Benny Slade, and I am your host here at the M.O. Sessions. I wanted to pop on really quick. We are planning season 2, and I just wanted to pop on and thank everybody for the continued support that you guys are giving me and the feedback and everything. With this next season, I've been trying to figure out a little bit about like what it's going to be on. We're changing the format a little bit. Someone recently just told me that it should be more of a verbal blog, which I think was the origination of podcasts to begin with. But one of the things that I think I'm going to do is, along my journey down the rabbit hole, I'm just going to document via the podcast my discoveries and my thoughts and things like that. I do think that I'm trying... And I'll be honest with you guys, because that's the whole point of the podcast. I was trying too hard to push something or create something that wasn't the original game plan. So if you missed the announcements from the last season's episode, the Halloween episode, I released a small pamphlet book, a short horror tale called Martin Avenue. It's simply a magician who performs at this very shabby, fancy-dancy gig, and it turns out not to be what he thought it was going to be. It has a very disturbing ending to it. So if you like horror and that's something that you would like to read, you can find it on our website, themosessions.com, in the store. It is there. It's called Martin Avenue. It is an ebook, so once you download it, you'll have it. I hope you enjoy it. I do ask, though, that if you like what you've heard on the podcast, if you and I have one-on-one session before, if you like me, if you like the podcast, if you like what's happening here, feel free to donate 50 cents, $1, however much you feel, in appreciation to the podcast. You could do it on our PayPal, which the link is in the show notes. If you're doing this from the Buzzsprout website, there is a little coin in the little player. You can give through us through that way. I wasn't going to plug giving. I don't want it to be about that. But if not, you can do it. The point is that if you want to get the book, you could contribute however much you want towards the book. I had someone contribute almost $30 towards the book. And I was very humbled, number one, and obviously very baffled by that. I mean, it's a short book that I created, about a few months ago, and kind of been sitting on it and refined it before I put it out. And it's short. It's only like a 12-page book. So the reviews on it are, I've had friends tell me it's very well written. I don't consider myself a writer. I find it to be more of a creative output. But at the same time, thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, check that out. That's in our store, amosessions.com, in the store. I'm organizing my mental thoughts here. I love being on here. I don't know why I don't do this more often. I think just kind of like random thoughts. But this podcast is about card magic, right? So like one of the things going into season 2 was taking a look at season 1. Season 1 was pretty much like a beta test to see like, all right, do I talk more personal things? Do I talk more card magic? And everybody kind of likes that mix. Although some episodes are not as card magic, not as heavily card magic based. So if you missed those announcements from the Halloween episode, getting back to what I was saying, I announced that we're going to be putting out videos and a newsletter. The newsletter will be launching in January. And videos are going to be a new segment called A Bit of Business. in honor of all those old school magicians that would say, and here's a bit of business, or, here's some new business or old business, or, however they would word it. So a bit of business is going to be the video section, which you can find on our website, mosessions.com. There should be a tab that says a bit of business. If not, then there will be. And one of the things on there is... Sorry about that. My mic cut out there for a moment, and I've been trying to get it back in. Okay. So it's going to be... A bit of business is going to be the videos, and there'll be a tab on our website, MO Sessions, the tab. If not, then I'll put one there. But it's password encrypted. So the only way you have access to the newsletter and the password is if you subscribe to the podcast. It's 100% free. I'm not asking for a monthly membership or anything like that. Most people are doing that now. They're putting out Patreons. I was going to do that in the beginning. It's been a learning curve, to say the least. But I just feel like I should be sharing this information to those who really want it. So if you want that information, you want to be exposed to the videos, I'll be talking about, 3 or 4 tricks in each video. I'm not sure if I'm going to explain them. I might just talk about them. We're still working on that. But the second season's coming. It'll be launching the end of November, early December. I wanted to pop on here, say hello to everybody. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. With the election here in the United States, we will see what happens. It's been interesting. It's like a breath of fresh air, is what some people are saying. They go outside and they just feel like the cloud has disappeared over Oz. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I did my part. I hope you did as well. And I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate everybody who continues to listen and support. And thank you guys so much. And I'm curious to know what you guys would like to hear on season 2 of the podcast. There's a lot of other podcasts popping up. But remember, this is the only one that talks about card magic exclusively. Trying to keep it old school, trying to keep it under wraps and such. So, again, everything is private except for this podcast. Any magician can listen to it. You could tell it to any magician to listen to it. Even if they don't do card magic, they might find it interesting. I was just talking to a guy, actually, like 10 minutes ago at my son's school, and he goes, "You look familiar." I don't know this guy. And he goes, "You look familiar." And I said, I don't know where you would know me from. And we got to talking, and he was telling me, he goes, "What do? You look like you do something interesting." And I said, "I do card magic." And I did a trick for him. I just did like a, transposition thing, because that seems to be the only enhanced thing I can do, is a quick double lift type of deal. Excuse me. And so I did a quick transposition, selected a card, changed it into another card. Not your card, rub it, and now it's your card. That kind of thing. It's simple, but it's so powerful and direct for lay people and laymen. And so I was talking to him about what I want to do, and that I host this podcast or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I'll give it a listen." And I was like, "But you don't do card magic." He goes, "Oh, well, I think it's interesting, so I'll support you. You seem like a nice guy. I'll check it out." So a complete stranger who doesn't know me, wants to listen to my podcast, a layperson, a muggle, do I allow them to? Sure. I hope it inspires him. I hope he finds something out of it, and maybe it'll inspire him to join in the card magic world. I don't know. I mean, I'm not expecting that, but still, I mean, I just thought about like how powerful, like what I'm doing is pretty interesting, because like I've had people reach out to me and say like, you talking about books and things like that have had me like watch videos less. Oh, okay, cool. Or, I've had someone like tell me how they thought it was interesting that my journey is very similar to theirs, and they shared their journey with me, and it is very similar. But again, so like yesterday I was sessioning with a few magicians, one of them who was my first time meeting them virtually and is a very well-known card guy. And I was just nervous as shit. Like, I was just like, oh shit, I can't believe I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't talk much, which is funny because like I talk all the damn time, to the point of where my wife just tells me, you need to shut up. You're talking too much. So, it was very weird because they were talking about, we were talking about different card stuff, Marlowe stuff, Bob King stuff, and so I'm sitting here just kind of taking in all the information, and the other card guys who are in the session are sharing stuff, and, finally I get called upon to like, not share something, but like, well, what have you been reading? What are you working on? And like the person who called me, I know, we've talked a few times. And I just was nervous as shit because I just felt like I'm performing in front of like Vernon or Miller or, Marlowe. I just feel like I was performing it. I didn't perform, but I just felt like, like, what do I say? And, I've heard stories like that, but it's funny because I've met like magicians at conventions that I really like. I met Michael Weber and Danny Garcia, and Michael Weber for me is like the mirth around his past is a thing. Like you hear legendary stories about his past and how clean it is and great. And so we were standing around a circle, and some kid was like, let's see your pass or whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah. So he did it absolutely invisible. And which is the purpose, the point of it. And so, but I wasn't nervous around him. Come to find out that we had a mutual connection. My uncle is up in that area, and he's somewhat well known and doesn't do magic. He does theater stuff. Anyways, but it's funny because it's one of those things where you look up to somebody in to a certain level, right? Like I don't idolize, I'll just say that. But like you look up to these people and I become heavily inspired by them. Like not so much starstruck, but so inspired by them to the point of you just have so many questions. Like you just kind of want to pick their brain about themselves and their philosophy, and hopefully it continues to inspire me and things like that. I do that with a lot of people. One of my good friends that I have a bunch of friends, but one of my closer friends that I talk to on a regular basis, does that make us best friends? I don't know. Probably not. Who says best friends? I'm almost 30 and I say best friends on my podcast. That's a mess. And so, we've inspired each other. We session all the time. Whenever we can, we try to session. So for me, it's like, here I am meeting somebody who I don't know, but is very well known, who has published books on card magic and, one of the best. And I'm just like, I'm normally not a nervous person, and I'm just like fumbling around, like Leonard Green dropping cards and shit. And like, I mean, obviously Leonard Green does it intentionally, but so I don't know. Do you guys have stories like that? I'm curious to know. Do you guys have stories of like meeting someone who you look up to so much that finally you meet them and he's just a fucking wreck. Like a fucking wreck. I heard Steve Reynolds tell a story a couple times, and more so recently, that when he met John Rockerbomber for the first time in person, he was just nervous, just nervous about, I hope I got that story right. I believe that's what it is. He met John for the first time. They obviously had been corresponding beforehand for some time. But that's exactly how I was. I was just nervous. Like, the show is, and here I am, like, working on some, like, knuckle busting stuff, like, privately. Not even, like, intentionally, like, going through, like, different books. And lately I've been going through the Marlowe magazines, and people keep asking me, like, why is it taking so long? Do you understand the Marlowe magazines? They're fucking, like, 250 to 300 pages. Like, it's not an easy read. I mean, I just got the Nash trilogy a few weeks ago, And I was like, yeah, I'm going to read them cover to cover, which, I mean, I'm still doing cover to cover. And learn everything in there, whatever. I opened up the first fucking page and it talks about the double lift, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was, like, working on it for, like, 2 hours, like, rereading, understanding, and then executing, practicing. It's a thing. It's a whole... Card magic is... Well, magic in general. You know, it's funny because Ben Earl always says, like, magic is hard. It's not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, you know? So, for me, it's like, that's 100% true. I sit here and I'm reading through even Frank Garcia stuff, regardless of his, you know, controversial. And I know I keep repeating these names, but I really look at the older generations and I study them. It's important for me to study them, and I understand there's, you know, all these new books out there and things like that. Even in the new Charlie Miller book, the Magicana, the compilation of all the articles from Genie, I think there's stuff in there. You know, there's a second deal by Jared Koski, which is almost a variation of the D'Amico second deal. And I'm sitting here like, you know, I have so many questions about it and trying to explore it and that kind of thing. Sorry about that. There is people cleaning up our front lawn area, patio area, with blowers, so you might hear that. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I think it's really one of those things that's interesting to me is like, but here's the thing though, is like I don't think I get nervous around other people. I'm not. I'm a people person, so I don't know what the fuck that was about. Yeah, what are you working on? I'm going through I have no problem talking to strangers all the fucking time. I went to a wedding this past weekend. I know this isn't magic related. This is supposed to be an update, and here I am going on like 18 minutes of talking about nothing. So I went to a wedding this past weekend. Stepbrother, not very close with him. It was his wedding, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It is what it is. And there were people from like New York. My stepbrother's from Long Island. Well, he lived on Long Island. Most of his friends are from New York, whatever. Anyway, so I was talking to them, and like I am in Trump City. Like, I don't mean that in a negative way. There was like everybody there voted for Trump. The entire mile road, every house had a Trump flag on it, except for one house had a Biden thing that said like "No more bullshit, no more lies" or something like that. And so you know, it gives you a sense of like, okay, I'm in the middle of nowhere and there's a bunch of Trump flags around. Like, you know, you get that idea of like, where the fuck am I? If you live in that area, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing out an observation. So we get to a beautiful wedding. It was in a barn. And anyway, so I'm talking to this guy or whatever. And we just went on for like 30 minutes just talking. I don't even know him. He's not a relative or anything. So, do you have a story like that? Have you met someone that you, something's going on with my mic. Hold on. Okay, is it working? I don't know. Is it on? I think so. Do you have a story that's like that? Do you have a story that you were sessioning with someone and first time meeting them and you got nervous? Like, is that a thing? I can't be the only one. You know, and I've heard the story that John Rockerbottom, the first time he met Marlo as well, he was just like nervous. So I don't know. It is what it is. But anyways, enough of that. I appreciate you guys. I hope you had a quick little 20-minute episode with an update, videos, newsletters coming up. If you want all that content, information, it is free. All you have to do is go to our website, mosessions.com. Ooh, thought I had to sneeze. Sorry. mosessions.com. And there's a subscribe area. Just plug in your information, your email, and in a few weeks here when we launch season 2, we will send out all that information. We won't spam you with a bunch of like, sign up for this, get this. But you will be getting emails when a new episode comes out, keeping you updated with the podcast and the actual newsletter. I'm still trying to figure out if you can opt out to receive the newsletter or just download it off of our website. Lots of exciting things. I am working on some merch. Another way you can contribute. I enjoy my coffee or tea in the morning along with my cards, just like a lot of people. A lot of cardmen, and so I figured a mug would be a good idea. So working on a mug. If you guys have design ideas, merch ideas, whatever, shoot us an email, mosessions52@gmail.com. Might be changing that. I don't know why I did mosessions52. I don't know what's going on with that. But that's the email, mosessions52@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Let me know if you have a similar story to mine. Let me know some design ideas. If you guys want to hear certain things on season 2 or, in the videos, let me know. I'm curious to find out. Thank you guys. I appreciate all of the support and I look forward to season 2, and I will let Evelyn Moore do her thing. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe, stay well, be happy and healthy, and let's do this 2021.
This has been a Dead Slide Society production. For more information, visit us on Instagram or Facebook at MO Sessions 52.